This will sound very strange, but singer-songwriter Paul Simon recently relocated to his estate just outside of San Antonio, where the site of the Battle of the Alamo is. And Paul Simon is predicted to die on March 21st, 2024, on the prophetic anniversary of the end of the siege of the Battle of the Alamo, when the walls of security were breached. The date that this video is posted proves that this prediction is being made ahead of time, as does this time-stamped email and forensic notes PDF document. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward these to you. Alright, this video was originally produced prior to March 6th, 2024. If this is your first video on this channel, the way in which God's true big picture of signs, patterns, and connections works, which is only being explained on this channel, is that the signs cannot be properly understood without their context and connections to other prophetic signs, and they engender trails of prophetic signs that along the way have steps. And so prior to March 6th, it was known that God was overwhelmingly pointing to March 6th regarding Paul Simon. However, it was only a step in the trail of signs leading to Paul Simon's predicted death 15 days later on March 21st. Paul Simon, among other reasons for the number 15, recorded 15 studio albums. The prophetic signs that occurred on March 6th that are relevant, related to Paul Simon, and this big story that God is telling through Paul Simon that includes other things, are explained. The signs that occurred on March 6th are explained in the amazing, profound, and extremely important video, the Baby Boomer Generation video. Make sure you watch that video also. But in fact, in my opinion, it should be obvious that once the prediction comes to pass, Paul Simon's death on March 21st, it should be obvious to everyone that you need to watch every minute of every video of the Paul Simon videos on this channel and all of the videos in general. And the reason why all of the Paul Simon videos need to be watched is the reason why God demonstrated these trails of signs and these steps and numerous prophetic signs. The reason why God did this is in order to reveal these stories and reveal this knowledge that God has been communicating through these themes and stories that God has been telling through these trails of prophetic signs and numerous prophetic signs that connect. They connect in order to tell these stories, which are essential. They must be watched. They must be learned to understand what God is communicating through Paul Simon. This video is documenting the prediction that Paul Simon will die on March 6th, 2024. As we can see, this email was composed on February 29th, 2024, February 29th. This email is documenting the prediction that singer-songwriter Paul Simon will die on March 6th, 2024. Paul Simon recently relocated to Texas near San Antonio. As explained in the Paul Simon video, that was in itself a prophetic sign. The sale of his mansion in New Canaan, Connecticut, and his relocation to Texas near San Antonio. Much more is explained in the other Paul Simon videos, and when this prediction comes to pass, I think you should know that you need to watch every minute of every Paul Simon video on this channel. The site of the 13-day siege of the Battle of the Alamo is located in San Antonio. Simon and Garfunkel's fifth and last album, Bridge Over Troubled Water, won 5 Grammy Awards at the 13th Grammys ceremony. That's the association, or one of them, between Paul Simon and the number 13, which is the relevance of this 13-day siege of the Battle of the Alamo. Simon and Garfunkel recorded a famous song named America. The United States of America was founded with 13 colonies, and in terms of prophecy, America is symbolically the 13th tribe of Israel. Okay, I explained more regarding this in the other videos. Simon is predicted to die 13 days after an X-class solar flare knocked out cell phone service for 70,000 AT&T customers, as detected or recorded or announced by Down Detector, the site that records these things. And America was born on the date 7/4. In other words, 74 hints at the date 7/4, which is symbolism for America. Perhaps I'll just elaborate a little bit. America is God's chosen nation. America is God's Gentile nation. America is symbolically un-Israel. Israel had 12 tribes, but the 12th tribe of Joseph was replaced with 2 tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. God demonstrated in the Bible that the younger of the 2 tribes, Manasseh, would, although being younger, receive the inheritance. There is much to say, but it is said, it is believed, that Ephraim is symbolism for Great Britain and its descendant nations, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, and America is symbolized by Manasseh, which is why it is the 13th tribe. The 13th tribe of Manasseh. And America was founded with 13 tribes, but there are more reasons for knowing that 13 is symbolic of Manasseh and America. But 13 colonies is also related to the 13 or 12 tribes that the land of Israel was divided for. That's akin to colonies. So, in a sense, colonies are tribes. And so America is the 13th tribe of Israel. And this is why Paul Simon, who had a famous song, or one of his most famous songs, America, will die 13 days after this X-class solar flare that knocked out cell phone service for 74,000 AT&T customers at its peak, which hints at America because of the date 7/4. This solar flare was in turn 13 days after another X-class solar flare that came from sunspot 3575. The 3575 word, or rather 3,575th word in Strong's Hebrew Old Testament Concordance, is the word Noah, as in Noah's flood. Peter wrote in the Bible that the coming judgment destruction would be by fire, or symbolized by fire, and not water. The 226th word in Strong's Hebrew Concordance is the word that means prophetic sign. The Noah flare, I would call it the Noah flare because it came from sunspot 3575. The X-class Noah flare is 2 times 26 days before the predicted solar flare, symbolically fire from the sun, is predicted to knock out America's power grid on April 1st, 2024. God often repeats a number 3 times for emphasis of its symbolic meaning. April 1st, 2024 will be 13 plus 13 plus 13 days after the solar flare on February 22nd, 2024. And April 1st, 2024 will be 13 plus 13 days after Simon is predicted to die near the location of the 13-day siege at Alamo. Okay? 188, the 188th word in Strong's Hebrew Concordance is the word woe, exclamation mark, used in context in the Bible of extreme judgment from God, which is why God frequently uses in relevant context in his signs and connections this number 188. Okay, Paul Simon is predicted to die exactly 188 years. I should say he's predicted to die near the Battle of Alamo site. Exactly 188 years after the end of the 13-day siege at Alamo, when the walls of security were breached. This is when the Mexican army breached the walls at the end of the siege and murdered or killed everyone inside. Simon's death will be a prophetic sign indicating that America's walls of security and divine protection will now be breached, and America's destruction will ensue. This is why Paul Simon moved to near the Battle of Alamo and is predicted to die exactly 188 years after the end of the 13-day siege of the Battle of the Alamo, and why Paul Simon is associated with the number 13 in God's signs, as explained in the other videos, and why Paul Simon is predicted to die 13 days after the prophetic solar flare, which was 13 days after the Noah flare, and on as I explained in this paragraph. Again, when this prediction comes to pass, make sure that you watch every minute of every video regarding Paul Simon, and furthermore, every video in general, once the prediction comes to pass. This is merely scratching the surface of the reasons for how this prediction is known in advance. For more information, please visit bitshoot.com or odyssey.com, spelled O-D-Y-S-E-E, video channels named Harris Crash Prediction, and also read the website trumpprediction.com. Aliens and UFOs are demons masquerading as aliens and UFOs. Most people's spiritual experiences are demonic deception, especially if they are not a true follower of Christ. God became a man and died a horrible death at the hand of the ruler of this world, Satan, and then defeated death for you, so that you too can overcome death, which is the price that must be paid for sin. It is time to repent, which means to change one's ways and turn to God and become a disciple of Jesus. Please leave a like and upvote the video, and once this prediction has come to pass, share this video with everyone you know, and more, don't stop sharing it everywhere in social media. It is essential that everyone immediately read the homepage of my website, trumpprediction.com. If you are watching this on the YouTube platform, please note that not all of the videos are on YouTube. You need to switch to the bitshoot.com or the odyssey.com channel, and do it now in case you aren't able to later.